The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bell. Got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. And what's good with you, my boy?
What's good, man?
Man, if fighting this I already know when the weather get bad in Louisiana, tough times for my dog, man. I saw a video today, man. They was shouting out to L Dot. So man, shout out to the people who kind of go out there and try to help keep the road safe for us during these tough times. Shout out to Arkansas, R Dot, and Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. Indiana came down to Louisiana, help shovel some snow. So shout out to all those.
No, we ain't good for that.
Yeah, I know. Somebody was talking about it. It's like Louisiana spent such and such to get these people here. We could have bought our own little stuff. And somebody was like, "Where are you gonna buy it at?" It's like, where are you going to buy it at that's going to get here in enough time to shovel this snow? So man, shout out to them people, man. Last time when it snowed here in Huntsville, we had the viral, videos from Huntsville.
Yeah.
Montgomery got us beat, dog. I don't care. Montgomery and New Orleans got us beat. I don't care. It's been dope. And Montgomery ain't get that much, but Montgomery got us beat. Mobile as well, man. Rev was he gonna say he went out there playing in the snow, but him and my stepmama was taking pictures and stuff. So matter of fact, when I called Rev Monday morning, he sounded a little disappointed. He said, "We supposed to be getting snow. It ain't nothing yet." I said, "You sound disappointed." He said, "Nah, I just want to see it. I ain't nothing like that." Man, he was posting pictures and going live. That man ain't never went live. That man was live on Facebook. It was man, so yeah. But man, we got a good one, man. We get the recap National Championship. It kind of played out how we said. They scored a few more points than I thought they would, but it played out. Actually, no. They did. They scored more points in the first half, but at the end, it was kind of where I thought it would be at.
Yeah.
So, talk about that, man. We got to revisit a conversation we had early on about one of the coaches, and then we got to talk outside. We got top five. I told y'all we're gonna come back with some top five. I think this is a good one this week. And then NFL, man, heating up. We'll get to it, man. But first, you know what we got to do. We got to give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We will be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. And we are back. And let's go ahead and talk about this national championship. Take a look at the numbers. First off, oh shoot, what did I do? Yeah, that happened. Let me fix that real quick. Why? Hold on, let me fix this because it ain't doing what it was supposed to be. There we go. I hit the wrong button. Technical difficulty as always, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, we get it done. Let's take a look, man. First off, let's go back and look at this final score. Final score was 34-23. Congratulations to Ohio State getting the victory. One of the first things I do know about this, both teams came into the playoffs in the had to play all their way all the way through. I guess the benefit of this, neither one of them had to play in a conference championship. That's the one thing that I think would have been interesting if, say, Penn State or a
Texas,
yeah, who played in the conference championship but was not a top 4 seed. That I think that would have been interesting. But let's look at some of the stats. First downs, Ohio State had 22, Notre Dame had 19. Rushing yards, net rushing yards, Ohio State had 214. Notre Dame had 53. They couldn't get that. They didn't even try to go to Jeremiah Love, which is had me wondering, you know, was he hurt or something? Passing yards, Ohio State had 231. Notre Dame, shockingly, 255 passing yards in the game. Both had 2 touchdowns via the pass. Total offense 445 to 308 with the Ohio State carrying most of that. Ohio State punted 1 time. Notre Dame punted twice. Time of possession belonged to Ohio State, 32 minutes, 25 seconds to Notre Dame's 27 minutes and 35 seconds. Ohio State was 75%. I know this math. That was 75% on third down with 9 of 20, and Notre Dame was 5 of 12. If I do quick math on that, that's 40%, 40.2, something like that percent. Ohio State was 6 of 6 in the red zone. That's a recipe for victory every time. Notre Dame was 1 of 2. So yeah. So that's where we are with at least the team stats. Individually, I'm before I even scroll down, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Judkins. If you are Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, I think you're thinking that you probably should have paid that money. Will Howard, 17 to 21 for 231, 2 touchdowns. He was sacked twice. Riley Leonard was 22 or 31 for 255 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. I'm sorry, Will Howard has 2 touchdowns as well. He had 2 sacks. Neither quarterback threw an interception in this game either. Rushing Judkins was 11 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Will Howard, 16 carries, 64 yards. Well, I'm sorry. He had 64 yards, and then, of course, he had 7-yard loss, which is sack yardage. So it was a net of 57. Henderson, 12 carries, 49 yards. And Emeka Egbuka had 1 carry for 13 yards. On the Notre Dame side, Riley Leonard, 17 carries, 40 yards and a touchdown. Jadarian Price, 3 carries, 13 yards. Love, who I mentioned earlier, 4 carries, 3 yards. Faison had 1 carry for 1 yard. So, yeah. Receiving, Jeremiah Smith, 5 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. The biggest being that long catch at the end of the game, that 56-yarder. That pretty much the game. Emeka Egbuka had 6 catches, 64 yards. Carnell Tate, 2 catches, 35 yards. Judkins had 2 catches, 21 yards, and a touchdown. So on. Jaden Greathouse may have earned himself a little bit of money. Completely just showed up in the second half. He had 6 catches, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Behind him, Mitchell Evans had 4 catches, 52 yards. Bo Collins, 4 catches, 32 yards, and then so on and so on. But Ant, your thoughts on the game? What's good, Normal?
I think it played out kind of like we thought it would. That first drive by Notre Dame was pretty strategic. I think they tried to eat a lot of the clock, keep Ohio State offense on the sideline, but ultimately that Ohio State offense was just too dynamic, too explosive. And Notre Dame spent all of their energy, I think, trying to make that comeback. And I think the game changed whenever they missed that field goal. It kind of took all their momentum that they had going their way and kind of just swung it back toward Ohio State. And that was all Ohio State needed to kind of seal the deal, with that 3rd and 8. But yeah, it went kind of how I expected. Notre Dame made it a little bit closer than I thought at the end. But ultimately, 2-score game is kind of how I saw it being.
Yeah. What's good, Josh? What up, Aaron? You talked about that first drive. Masterful by Notre Dame. Ate up 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And then their second drive, -5 yards, 1 minute, 49 seconds, and it was pretty much over after that. So Ohio State scored on their first 3 drives, and then it was halftime. They got 3 possessions and scored all 3, and it was halftime. Then actually, to be fair, they scored on their first 4 drives because the first drive coming out of first 5 drives. So because they scored a field goal on their 5th drive. And and they would have, I think they would have scored again on the 6th drive had they not fumbled. So overall, I agree with you. This played out exactly how we thought it would, or how we talked about prior to on Sunday. Notre Dame showed a lot of fight. the comeback in the second half was I'm gonna be honest with you, it had me a little nervous. I ain't talking much trash this game, but it did have me a little nervous because I thought we was gonna have to hear from Notre
Yeah.
Dame fans, and like my man Aaron said, he definitely didn't mind the overall outcome of the game because we knew what the story was gonna be. Um, so I'm definitely happy that we didn't get to hear that. But I do want to say Notre Dame does not have anything to hang their head about. Someone said that this probably will be under Marcus Freeman the worst team he'll have that'll be competing for playoffs. I think it'll be a boost for recruiting for them. They still got to get a
Worse.
top wide receiver. Yeah,
I
I
don't
said it'd
know.
probably be the worst.
Next year might be the worst. Unless they go hit the transfer portal at quarterback. Because I mean, that's you losing a lot off this team in terms of experience, and then you haven't really replaced any of them in terms of transfer portal guys. So I think next year could be the worst team. But I get the premise
Mm,
though.
yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be be looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And let me ask you this because we talked about it before. The comparisons, the 2019, everybody want to compare it to the 2019 team. I don't think this is even close. Ohio State had a nice run, but let's not act like the way this was set up with the playoffs and the teams you play in the playoffs. You're not. It's going to look good. You're going to play several top teams on your way to the playoffs. Your regular season is kind of what's going to help define and separate you. But with that being said, Ohio State had a great run. Where do you think this team ranks among modern champions or champions in the modern time? I guess you could say.
At best, number 3. At best. Um, Obviously they're behind 2019 LSU. I put them behind 2020 Bama as well automatically. I'd probably put that 2018 Clemson team ahead of them.
Yep.
Um, Probably look at that other Clemson team in 2016.
Yep.
Um, but they somewhere in that 5-4-5 range, I think, because we can't sit up here and act like this Ohio State team ain't one of the most talented teams we've seen in terms of collections of talent. The problem I have is they lost 2 games in the regular season. Um, so you can't be one of the best or the best if you got 2 L's on your record. So I put them probably 4 or 5 at best.
I completely agree. The loss, and we talked about this before, the loss to Oregon, I could kind of wash my hands with that one. That loss to Michigan is kind of inexcusable. That's
Yeah.
the one, that's the one that I think really I look at and I'm kind of, turning my head saying, I don't know. D Lob said, what do the numbers say? I honestly I have to look. I even looking at the numbers, dog. They still the 2019 LSU swept the awards. Several top 10. The number that 2019 LSU team beat the preseason rank 1 through 4 teams, if I'm not mistaken, all by double digits, by an average of 20 plus points.
Well, if you doing that, this Ohio State team, they beat like I think it was 5 of the top 10 or something like that. Nobody has more top 5 wins than this Ohio State team does.
Yeah, and that's
In the
fair.
regular
That's
season.
fair.
In the regular season. So I mean, numbers wise, they're gonna be up
You
there because
said
they
you
done
said in
some.
the you said in the regular season or
No, I'm saying in a season,
in a
nobody
season.
has
Okay.
nobody has beaten more top 5 teams than Ohio State this year. But the problem is they got the 2 losses. So numbers wise, they're gonna be up there and doing things that other people haven't done. But they got 2 losses. We can't deny that fact.
Yeah. Also, and like I said before, the numbers are going to also look that way because of the way the setup of the playoff, the format. You're going to play more games, so
Yeah.
that's going to stick out there. Uh, I think they deserve a lot of credit. The turnaround, in my opinion, is what puts them up there. And Paul Sub says he puts them at 6. He can't put them ahead of any unbeaten champion, and I understand that's fair. The reason why I think I can see them better than a few champions, uh, the talent,
Michigan was undefeated last year.
Michigan was
Yeah, they went
undefeated last
15
year.
and 0. Yeah. I think I could put them over last year's Michigan team.
And that's fair. I can understand that. I can understand that one, especially with the. I know it may not mean much with the stuff surrounding or the circumstances surrounding Michigan.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to
No,
do with it.
I
But
I
I'm
know
just
it don't. But for me, that kind of factors in. But I can look at that and kind of I can put them above them. But that brings me to another question, and something I said we talked about before. After the Michigan game, we gave Daniel some credit and said he might have been right about Ryan Day being overrated. Um, does this kind of change your mindset on that?
yeah. I mean, he won a national championship. He could still be overrated, but he one of 3 coaches to have a national championship. Um, so that's got to mean something. And I think it's taking him the same amount of time it took Kirby Smart to win at Georgia. If you look at the fact that they both win their national championship in their second year there, both losing obviously to Alabama in the national championship game, but they both made their second year. They both won it in their fifth, sixth year, something like that. So if he's overrated, is Kirby overrated? Because I mean Kirby had trouble beating Saban, just like Brian Day got trouble beating Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of very similar situations. They both inherited very good teams from their predecessors. So I mean, I'm not saying he Kirby Smart, but I don't think he's as overrated as we made him seem, because at the end of the day, he did win the first 12-team playoff and did it by turning around the team during the middle of. I mean, that Michigan loss could have ended their season. You know, I mean, they could have folded right then and there. You know, but man, they used that as a calling point and kind of turned the season around. So
If you think about it, that first game that they had, playoff game against Tennessee, there were probably just as many Tennessee fans as Ohio State fans, just simply because Ohio State fans didn't feel like that um they could do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They were selling their tickets. Um so I understand the premise and the thoughts about, hey, Ryan Day is overrated, but I think it was it was a little bit of a rush to judgment. I almost can say the same about Marcus Freeman, because after that first year or the bowl game, that first half, Notre Dame looked real good against Oklahoma State, and then they looked like diddly squat the second half. Then they come out the next year and they struggled against who was it? Marshall. They lose to
and they
Marshall.
lost. Yeah,
Yeah, lost
lost
to
to
Marshall.
Stanford
They
too.
lost to Stanford. And then so you kind of look, well, you know what I'm saying, maybe he's over his head and stuff, but Notre Dame hangs in there, and here, look, it is year 3, and he's in the playoffs, in the championship at that.
Yeah.
If I'm not, and I'm tired. I will say this, please. I know LSU fans aren't doing it. Um, Notre Dame fans, please stop with the comparison. Uh, I they seem to forget Brian Kelly was in the national championship in his third year as well.
Yep.
He just so happened to take on a Bama team that was, I mean, a juggernaut, um, a repeat team at that. So, um, yeah. You want to say the top five to a little bit later? Or you want to go ahead and do it now?
It don't matter. We can save it. That's cool.
All right. Let's say move that one. I say that close to the end. Uh, I let's move on to the NFL. Key popped in. No, we have not talked women's basketball yet. Key have not. Um, but I want to talk a little NFL real quick. I know we did the recaps of the divisional games, the divisional rounds. Alex Smith had a very interesting take the other day. Alex Smith said that Patrick Mahomes is doing more than with less around him than Jaden Daniels. And I'm trying to figure out if it's CTE or if he just blind and showing favoritism to his old teammate and his old team. What do you think?
You might say offensively he's doing it with less around him.
I don't
But
know if I can say that. I mean, I
yeah,
get you, but I don't know if I don't know if I
Jaden got
it's
Jaden got more weapons around him, dog. Yeah. Name me one receiver on the Chiefs you would take over Scary Terry.
I wouldn't take one over Scary Terry, but I can name two or three I would take over the I can name you two that I take over the wide receiver two,
Ooh.
Brown.
Ooh.
I would D Hop and Schuster, Juju.
D Hop is a shell of himself. D Hop ain't the same D Hop no more. I'm taking the Chiefs receiving core. I'm taking the Chiefs. I mean the Commanders receiving core over the Chiefs receiving core.
You gonna take Pacheco over Brian Robinson?
I'd probably take the combination of Eckler and Robinson over Pacheco. The combination of two.
Okay,
but one to one. No, I'd take Pacheco.
Would you take Ertz over?
No, I'm taking
Travis Kelce.
Taking Kelce.
Which O line would you take?
Probably the Chiefs.
So I mean, I get wide receiver core and maybe what you know, saying the combination.
That's why I said I could understand the argument if he's saying offensively, but defensively, nah, it ain't even close. The Commanders got the worst defense in the playoffs by a long shot. So,
yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny that was mentioned. When he said it, I the first thing I thought was, "What are you looking at?" But then I realized Patrick Mahomes' rookie year, he was Alex Smith's backup.
Yeah, man, he played for both franchises, so I don't think it's necessarily he got.
But he didn't play. He didn't play with Jaden. He got hurt in Washington.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think it's because he played with him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
DeAndre Hopkins got 437 yards with the Chiefs.
He came in mid-season, right? If I'm not, or early, yeah,
he came
like that.
on mid. I'm just saying, in the whole season, he ain't got but 600 yards on the whole season. So that's what I'm saying. He ain't really the name, yeah, but he ain't the same like player as he was. That's why I still got to give it to the receiving room. I definitely got to give that to Kate. I don't know. I mean, I think Scary Terry just that much better than everybody in the Chiefs room.
I think right now, yeah, the combination of Scary Terry and Jaden, yeah.
Like I think if you just take them, just take Scary Terry, I think he better than the whole Chiefs receiving room by itself. Like you don't even need nobody else with him, just him.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going I was gonna talk about the push, the Texans dude that pushed the coach. D'Amico Ryans came out and said, and I will make this brief. D'Amico Ryans came out and said the push was not a disrespectful push. It was a push of like he was like excited. He ran
Showed
up because
them
then
look
they
like
like cause I know that's what I thought, but they showed the whole thing. Said he was like fired up for a play he made. He ran over. He took his helmet, threw his helmet, and he ran over. He pushed him. He was like amped up more so than like he was mad. I don't know if I buy it, but that was the story they told. So
yeah.
yeah.
I don't buy that, but
But let's go ahead and roll into since we was talking about the Chiefs. Let's roll into it. Chiefs take on the Bills this week. I took it down. The Chiefs are a 2-point favorite. That game kicks off at 5:30 on CBS on Sunday. Let me go ahead and give the other stuff since we here. Like I said, Chiefs a 2-point favorite. Over under is 47.5 plus 110 money line for Buffalo, minus 130 for Kansas City.
ain't no way this is true.
Talk to me.
Travis Kelce only got 3 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah.
That is wild, son. But him and Zach Ertz numbers, I mean, he got like 100 more yards than Zach Ertz, 150 more yards than Zach Ertz. But Zach Ertz got like 3 times as many touchdowns, twice as many touchdowns. That's crazy. But I think until somebody go into Kansas City not named Joe Burrow and beat Mahomes, it's hard to bet against Mahomes in the playoffs, dog.
It is. I would not bet for Buffalo in this game. However, I do think Buffalo pulled this one off this year.
Yeah, I
So
think Buffalo. I think Buffalo should win. I agree, but I'm not putting no money on it.
It's something about it's something I just got. I feel like this might be the year.
I could see it, but it's just them damn Chiefs,
I know,
bro.
I completely agree. I completely agree. Hold on. I want to do something. I want to test something out because I always wonder, like, what this will look like. That chat overlay thing that I wonder if it'll show up actually in the feed when it's let me see if it show up. I don't know if it'll show if y'all can see if they can see the chat.
Paul
Yeah, it is.
Paul Sub say they won in the regular season. I believe they do for a postseason win. Yeah, regular season is one thing, man, but
Yeah,
postseason it's a totally different ball game. I agree. I'm with you. I think they do for one, but until I see somebody do it, man, it's hard for me to bet against them, bro.
yeah. Let me ask this. Key asks, are we gonna give score predictions?
Man,
Let me ask you
Buffalo 27, Chiefs 23.
Ooh, okay. I was gonna say how you see this playing out. I see I see this as hmm, I see this as 31-24. 31-24 Buffalo.
I can
I
see
still
it.
wouldn't I still wouldn't bet on it, but I can see it like that. Josh Allen got 2 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs.
Hmm.
Um Next up, man, probably the it's funny because Dylan came in, asked me about this game. He asked me to pull it up, show him the on ESPN, I say the percentage and stuff. He's like,
Mhm.
uh Commanders and Eagles. This one, the Philly is a 6.5 or 6 point favorite right now. Over under is 47.5. Washington plus 225, Philly minus 275 on the money line. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm I'm tempted to put a little sprinkle, a little bit on Washington money line. Um, if I'm playing this, I'm probably playing a teaser. If it, and it, this the only way I probably would bet with the Bills Chiefs game. I'm teasing Buffalo and Washington. That's the only way I probably would play as far as if I was going to do it that way. Um, Go ahead.
The thing, the thing that scared me about Washington is Samuel Cosme, the offensive lineman, is out for this game.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I still think Washington gonna put up a hell of a fight. Um, and if it's close, one score game in the fourth quarter late, you gotta like Washington's chances.
Mhm.
Just because of the way JD's been so clutch and poised in late in games. I just feel like the Eagles are a more complete team, and I feel like that Commanders defense is gonna be what costs them.
So usually, if a team beats another team, at, in their stadiums, for instance, late in the season, Washington beat Philly in Philly. That's
Mm-hmm.
typically a good sign. I think that's going to be I think that's going to be one of the reasons why Philly ultimately probably wins this game. Is because they know it can happen, and
Mm, good point.
now now and especially they were up, if I'm not mistaken, like two they were up two possessions in this game, in that game, before Washington started making the comeback. So I think that's part of that. For that reason alone is the reason why I think that Philly could win this. uh JD5 gonna have a hell of a game. I think he has a hell of a game. He's gonna run like he's done all playoffs. I think Scary Terry has a good game himself. If Washington is going to win this game, Brian Robinson is going to have to put up some numbers himself.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna have to they're gonna and I'll tell you one thing that I think that Washington has been doing that's helped them win, especially Tampa Bay. You saw it, really saw it. And I don't know if you paid attention. They've been playing slow hurry up. I know that sounds crazy, but they've been playing get to the line, run the clock down, run your play, slow, get to the line, slow it down, run your play. It is like they've been having long drives the entire
Mm-hmm.
playoffs to they against Tampa Bay. That's what they did, and they slow drove the same thing Notre Dame did against Ohio State. Take some possessions away. I think that's how Washington is going to play it against Philly. They're going to slow drive it out, try to steal some possessions from Philly because, like you said, if it's a close game, put your money on Jaden.
Right.
This is you can add to this is all the bias in the world, and I will say it. It is bias. Purple and gold glasses. What I don't know what you call it, crimson or not crimson, definitely not crimson, but maroon or burnt burgundy or whatever, and gold glasses for the Commanders. If it comes down to which quarterback can get it done, I'm taking Jaden over Jalen Hurts. I still don't know how healthy Jalen is. I know it's been 2 weeks since that concussion. I still don't know how healthy he got. Banged up last week. He got hit and twisted that knee a little bit. I don't know how healthy he is. I'm taking Jaden. If it's a close game, I'm taking Jaden.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but my question is, can the Commanders' defense keep it close? Because
That's the problem.
Saquon been on a different level in these playoffs. We've seen Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown get they chemistry back, continuity back, whatever you want to call it. We've seen that happen in these playoffs. So I think it depends on which Philly team shows up. Is it the team that's clicking on offense with their passing game and then letting Saquon feed off of that? Or is it the one where Jalen Hurts and his receivers can't seem to get on the same page and they kind of having their little beef on the sideline? So I mean, I think it's a lot of factors that come into play in this game. Like Paul Sub said, like Washington has went on the road time and time again in these playoffs and pulled off the victory. So they definitely can go into Philly and do it again. It's the third time they played in this season. Both teams got one victory, so it's kind of that rubber match, so to speak, of who can come out with the second win of the season and out of the three matchups. But it's a lot to ask a team to go on the road 3 straight weeks and win 3 straight games.
Yeah.
But the way this Washington team been playing, if anybody can do it, they clicking at the right time. So it could be them. But I just think their defense got to come play a hell of a game for them to have a chance.
Yeah. That's why, and you're right. That's why I said if that happens, it has to be that slow play. You talked about that playing on the road. There's only been 4 teams. I just looked it up because I know I remember there had been teams, but there's only been 4 teams since 1970 when the wild card system started. 4 teams to have done that. Made it to the Super Bowl from the wild card. Those 4 teams: the New England Patriots, Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants, and the Green Bay Packers. All 3 won 3. They won 3 road games on the road and made it to the Super Bowl. So,
yeah.
So hold on, let me see what year it says since 1970. So yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to see which ones. It was 85 Patriots. They lost in the Super Bowl to the Bears. It was the 2005 Steelers. That was Ben's. I think that it wasn't his rookie year. I forget what year. It may have been his second year or something. May have been his rookie year.
That was his rookie year.
But he didn't start the season off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You had the 2007 Giants and then the 2010 Packers. So yeah. There it is. Those teams, Key asked, he said, what are the records of those teams that did that? They are 3-1. The last 3 to do it all won. So
Let me ask you this. Best regular season by a quarterback since by a rookie quarterback since.
To start the season as well, I'm gonna be honest with you, this might be the best rookie season ever by a quarterback. As far as now, I ain't talking about just strictly numbers. I'm talking about with performance
I'm
and
not talking about
actually.
the numbers neither. I'm talking about the
I
fact that Russell Wilson.
forgot. Well, hold on. I mean, I know Russell. He got bounced. Did he get bounced his in the playoffs? Who they got beat by that year? I remember because they actually were losing to Washington in the wild card round. That's when RG3 tore up his knee, and then
Mhm.
Seattle came back and won. Kirk Cousins came in, and Seattle came back and won.
Yeah, it's one. It's either the one of them two. I know he was a Pro Bowler his rookie year. Threw
Same.
26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But I don't remember how far they met. He beat White. They lost in the
You
divisional
said
round.
you said 26 touchdowns and how many interceptions?
10.
10. Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels got 25 touchdowns and 9 interceptions right now.
What's his QB rating?
That's
I mean, his passer rating.
passer rating. Let me pull it up. 70.5.
Russell Wilson's was 100.
Oh, dang. Jeez. I'm trying to think who was on that team. Lockett, Tyler Lockett, Golden Tate. I know Golden Tate was on that team.
Yeah.
I do know Golden. Falcons
Yeah.
bounced them. Okay.
Yeah, they lost in the divisional round to the Falcons. That's the only other one I could think of that's close, you know what I mean, to him.
If Jaden wins this and makes it to the Super Bowl, best rookie season ever, in my opinion. And I could be. I forgot Russell Wilson was Russell. Speaking of that, does Russell Wilson not get the credit he deserves as a quarterback?
I think it's pretty fair. I mean, yeah, he won the Super Bowl with the best defense we've seen in a while.
I mean,
But
think about this
he also blew a Super Bowl.
with the best defense. Is that on him?
Yeah, that's on him. He threw the interception.
Did he call the play?
He
I mean, I
threw
get
the
you. You're absolutely right.
interception.
And you absolutely
Like
right.
we can't. So with LSU, right? With LSU, do we say Joe Sloan called the play, or do we say Nussmeier made a bad decision?
No. So and it's different. I don't think he made a bad decision as far as the
That was a
read.
terrible decision.
It was a bad play. You think it was a bad decision to play the throw that slant?
Yes, that was a terrible decision. Malcolm Butler had inside leverage the whole play. From the time they were lined up, Malcolm Butler was playing the slant. That was a terrible decision. The play call was bad, but the decision was even more terrible in my opinion. He actually threw it.
That's fair. Yeah.
He should have threw that shit out of bounds, but I think Jaden the best rookie quarterback of all time at this point, man. And I don't think it's really hyperbole to say that.
Brian says, he said JD is the true MVP, best player in the NFL. I think that now that's hyperbole. I honestly, outside of the playoff game, what Lamar has done has been remarkable. And then behind Lamar, what Josh Allen has done. Behind that, and probably maybe even in front of that, what Saquon Barkley has done, it's hard for me to look at I love Jaden to death, and I think Jaden will make. I think now I will say this: I think Jaden will win an MVP before Joe Burrow,
Mm.
and
Mm.
here's why. Here's why: Joe has better weapons. He'll be able to put up numbers. He put up numbers this year. Washington will improve their defense and improve their record quicker than Cincinnati. And that record, and it's not like college where if you put up the numbers and stuff, we can overlook it and say, well, the defense, but he did good. In NFL, your record matters.
Yeah. I think the NFC just easier than the AFC
That's
too.
another one.
So I
Yeah.
think in terms of the competition he's gonna face every year, I mean, especially just look at his division. I mean, the Giants probably not gonna be good for a while. We don't know what the Cowboys gonna be. So you know, what I mean, you could have 4 wins in your division every year, just right off the bat.
I know what
So
the
I think
Cowboys gonna be.
that's not crazy as it sounds, but I mean, it kind of does sound crazy when you think about it. Because like if Burrow had a defense this year, he probably win the
Bingo.
MVP with the numbers he put up.
Bingo.
But so numbers wise, Joe gonna put up the numbers,
Mhm.
but does he have the help around him to make his case for him?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's gonna be now. What I am looking forward to seeing one day is that Washington Cincinnati Super Bowl.
That ain't happening.
You don't think it? I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen.
Yeah, for the same reason you just said. Cincinnati ain't got no defense.
They had a defense. They made it before.
Their defense was a lot better when they made the Super Bowl than it was this year.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Yeah. Speaking of that actually rolls into next topic. Cincinnati looking to add a new DC. They taking Notre Dame's DC.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know if college defense, as far as like doing that, saying taking that, if that
The Packers did it.
who what they get?
They took Boston College. They took Boston College head coach and turned him into a DC.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Jeff Heffley or whatever his
Yeah.
name was.
Yeah.
I mean, and we seen old boy from Michigan do it. They DC McDonald or whatever his name was, who went to the Ravens or whatever. So
yeah,
I just don't know if that fixed Cincinnati defense.
Yeah.
I don't think their problem was DC. I think their problem is personnel.
Yeah. Danny asked this. She said, "Trivia: what rookie quarterback has won the Super Bowl in their rookie year?" Ben Roethlisberger was one.
No.
What?
None of them.
None of them. I thought Ben.
None of them won the Super Bowl.
I thought you said Ben Roethlisberger.
No, that wasn't his rookie. I thought Ben made it his rookie year, but I didn't think they won it his rookie year.
If they did,
I could be wrong.
That year that I was talking about, that 2005, they won.
No, that wasn't his rookie year.
Oh,
that wasn't his rookie year.
So,
because he came in with
they didn't make it then. So
he came in with Eli, didn't he?
Okay. I
thought that was his second year. I could be wrong though. Let me see.
Oh no, that's the good. No, I thought that was his what's called. No, have not. Let's see.
Yeah, Ben. He won the 2006 Super Bowl.
That was his third year.
And I think he came in the league.
Yeah, that was his third year.
04. Yeah.
So let me look at when was the closest one? Is it? Ooh.
Well, it was his second year. It was his second year in the league, the 05 season. So yeah, his second year.
Let's see. 27 to 21. Russell Wilson won it his second season.
Yeah.
So that's probably the closest. And Joe Burrow, it was his second season when they went. Yeah.
But back to the question about the Cincinnati DC. My question is, how good of a defensive coordinator is, because I've always been under the assumption
It
that
was
that was
Marcus
Marcus
Freeman.
Freeman defense at Notre Dame. So how much credit are we giving him?
That's true. Make a very valid point. Very valid point. I don't know, man. I have to do some digging or see if I can. I don't think I could talk to no Notre Dame folks right now. They're a little sensitive. So, but moving on, man. The Jets hiring Aaron Glenn as their new head coach. Aaron Glenn was the DC for the Detroit Lions. He is now set to go to the New York Jets. So he is now off the board. Speaking of, uh, Dan Campbell's going to have a lot of work to do because his offensive coordinator is gone too, and is going to the division rival as the Bears hire Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. I think it's over with for Detroit, man. I don't see how you replace both of your
Coordinators.
coordinators. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what's even more interesting, because with both of those gentlemen off the board, I don't even know if they were even looking at Ben Johnson, but the Saints are running low on options. I think last I heard,
No, this Ben Johnson, no option.
yeah, last I heard, the top three remaining candidates: Joe Brady, Mike McCarthy, or making Riz taking that interim tag off. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, you got
Go ahead.
you got Anthony Weaver, the DC of Miami, and the offensive coordinator for the Giants, Kafka, and then there's been some smoke lately, last few hours or whatever, of possible Cliff Kingsbury. But I think it's gonna be Mike McCarthy or Riz, honestly.
That's my thing. I honestly think they take the tag off.
I think that's the worst case scenario. I think they make Mike McCarthy tell him no before they just make Rizzy the head coach. I don't think they want to give it to Rizzy.
Somebody said that Rizzy could be a good 1 year option or whatever, or in between bridge coach. But who do you look at?
Then until you get who? Yeah, until you get who?
I honestly don't think. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen how unserious the Saints are as an organization lately. I've seen.
I don't think it's that they unserious. I think they're not a desirable location. Like when you got a GM who don't care about winning and who says shit like results on the field don't matter and all that kind of stuff, like why would you want to go there? Like it ain't got nothing to do with the Saints not being serious, in my opinion. It's more the fact that nobody wants to come coach for Mickey Loomis. And it ain't Jerry Jones. That ain't it for Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones just refusing to go get somebody that'll push back.
Jerry Jones refused to spend money.
Now, he'll spend money. He just want somebody that ain't gonna give him no pushback. That's gonna let Jerry run shit.
You know they benched, and you could tell me it's I don't care. They benched Cooper Rush in the final game because if Cooper
that I get.
Because if he had a play, he would have got a bonus.
They didn't want to give him 250,000. Yeah, I agree with that part. But I'm talking about as far as the head coach.
Yeah,
he'll spend money on a coach. He just wants somebody that ain't gonna give him no pushback. But I also have to say that benching Cooper Rush, like, you could argue that they did it to preserve their draft position and not to not pay Cooper Rush. So I that's why I feel like he kind of got an out on that one.
This was another reason why I felt like the Saints, why it's not a desirable location. When you're consistently at or over the cap and need a complete rebuild and cannot afford it because your GM is an idiot that kicks the can down the road, it is not a desirable job. I literally told somebody this earlier. Matter of fact, Dave, Panther Nation podcast, Dave, PNP Dave. I told him that because he said that he think Aaron Glenn should have possibly looked at New Orleans, and I said I don't think so because
I think Aaron Glenn should have looked at New Orleans.
I think he should have looked. I don't think he. I honestly,
the Jets. That's who you want to tie yourself to.
I think he got a better chance to win at the Jets than New Orleans.
Based off what?
GM ain't Loomis. Maybe I just
their owner is worse. Yeah. Woody Johnson, that's who you finna tie yourself to. When has the Jets been anything worth a damn? 2011.
Now you finna make me.
When Mark Sanchez was the quarterback. And who your quarterback if you the Jets?
Oh, they definitely got to rebuild, but I think that's the thing I'm looking at. If you have to rebuild, where is going to be easier to rebuild?
New Orleans.
I don't feel like this.
New Orleans, you can rebuild. You don't have to deal. You don't have to deal with the media of New York. You don't have to deal with a stupid ass owner in Woody Johnson. You don't have to deal with all that kind of stuff, bro.
That's fair.
Ain't no eyes on New Orleans.
Yeah, the media part, the media in New York. That's fair. That is fair.
And then what you got? Then as soon as you take the job, you got to answer Aaron Rodgers questions. As soon as you take the job.
I think he retires.
I don't think so. But I don't think he's gonna be with the Jets. But but that's still something that you gotta
deal with.
Still something you gotta deal with.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look. You got anything else on NFL or the coaching carousel before we move on?
Nah.
All right, let's real quick. We got a big game. Was supposed to be tomorrow night, but due to weather, they moved it to Friday. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats for South Carolina coming into this game. Can you see that? Right now, South Carolina. Not really. All right, there we go. South Carolina is averaging 82.7 points per game, giving up 55.1. That's a 27.6 point margin of victory. They are shooting 47% from the field. shooting 34.4% from 3-point land, shooting 76.8 from the free throw. They take about 13 free throws a game. They are giving up 34% from the field to opponents, allowing 30% from 3-point land, which LSU ain't really, they don't make their bones still. And their opponents are shooting 69% from the free throw line, but they only get 7.7 or 8 free throws a game. They average about 44 free throws a game. I'm sorry, rebounds a game. Give up 33.3. They'd have about 16.8 assists, give up about 10.8 assists. Turnovers, 12.1 turnovers a game. They turn their opponents over 17 and a half per game, which LSU has had troubles with that, especially in the first quarter, which has started, giving them slow starts. That's something LSU cannot afford on Friday night. They have 9.5 steals, 6.1 steals for their opponents. They have 6 blocks per game, and opponents usually get about 3.3. And attendance is going to be through the roof. They average about 16,674. Look, individually, I don't know if we want to break down individually. Look, anybody don't even matter. We know what we're facing. I don't think it's even a question in this one. And thoughts on the game?
Like, I mean, it is what it is. It's LSU, South Carolina, bro. We know what we getting into when we go to South Carolina. It's gonna be a crazy environment. It's gonna be raucous. They're gonna be ready to play, and it's gonna be a Don Staley type team. You're gonna see a lot of people playing for South Carolina. They're gonna have a lot of defensive intensity. They're gonna play a fast paced game in South Carolina. They're gonna be all in your face on defense and trying to get you to turn the ball over, things of that nature. LSU gotta be smart with the basketball, not turn the ball over. They can't afford one of them slow starts they've been having, where they gotta kind of fight from behind early on in the game to kind of even things up. And you're gonna need everybody playing their best game. You can't have them stupid fouls that you get from your bigs early in games, whether it's Samaya or Jersey. Whoever the point guard is starting needs to be a threat offensively. Make Raven Johnson or Pow Pow have to guard you, and don't let it be 4-on-5 offensively. And then you're gonna have to make shots and take good shots. Can't take those rushed 4 shots where they feel like they ain't got a shot in a couple possessions, so they try to take things in their own matters and get shots up. Like, you gotta have smart possessions and get quality shots every time down the floor to beat South Carolina.
Yeah. I think in this game, you can't. LSU doesn't need individual heroes. I think this is ultimately the game where you have to have. I'm gonna be honest. This is the game you need Samaya Smith to be Samaya Smith. Let me rephrase that. This is the game you need Samaya Smith to be the player that we expected her to be coming into this season. This is the game where we want to see Jersey play out of her mind like she's played early in the season. This is the game where, honestly, in my opinion, KG, I'm trying to watch how I say this. KG is going to have to. She doesn't have to. She can't think that she has to take this one over by herself. This, if LSU can play like they play in the first half last season, that'll be an ideal. If LSU can play in the first half like they played the second quarter on from the game against Florida, that would be ideal. Uh, LSU, like you said, and I echo every sentiment you said about the fast start, not starting slow, playing with a sense of urgency, no turnovers. We just saw because we talked about, oh, I forgot who was LSU played earlier in the season. Was it Stanford? Where Stanford got all their points off, most of their points off turnovers, and we were talking about LSU can't do this. This is the same thing. They got to, man. LSU has to get the turnovers under control. Second half against Florida, I don't know if they eventually had a turnover later in the game, but they started off like the first, at least the third quarter, no turnovers. I think they were deep into the fourth quarter if they had a turnover, if that they had one. So they've got to, man, hold on to the ball. South Carolina makes a push, they make a run. You just gotta weather the storm. Stay with it. 20 golly, what year was that? The 73-9 year for Golden State in the playoffs in the finals when they took on Cleveland.
Yeah, 2016.
2016. Golden State was lighting it up from three. Cleveland did not try to match 3 for 3. They just kept shooting, making layups. And so the league grew for Golden State. But Cleveland just, stay going to the paint, stay hitting them, stay, getting those, those high percentage shots. And eventually Golden State cooled off a little bit and they caught up. I'm not saying South Carolina's going to come out here and just shoot threes and light it up. But what I am saying is when South Carolina starts stretching the lead out, play your game, don't get rushed and take smart shots, take high percentage shots. Don't just try to settle for threes. You've got to stay within yourself, stay within your game. That's what you got to do. I know when we talked about it before, I said I wasn't looking forward. I'm looking forward to this game now. I think LSU, I saw what South Carolina did against Alabama and how they kind of struggled. And I was like, LSU got a shot. But then they just came out against Oklahoma, number 15 Oklahoma, and dropped 100 on them. And that put a little bit more worry. But I do know LSU players, so a lot of times they play their best game against South Carolina. So
yeah.
So what's good, pressure? Danny, appreciate you for saying this. I was supposed to say it earlier. Hey everyone, like and share and subscribe to the page. Also subscribe to the podcast for our LSU athletes to help them build their brand. Flage and Keelan Moses have YouTube podcast spread. Yep, they do. Do us a favor. And want to say thank you for watching. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Do us a favor. Subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe, like, and share. Hey, now back to this. Or you have anything else before we move on? Talk about this top 5.
Nah.
All right. Here we go. Top 5 for we gotta get drum roll. Top 5 for this weekend. Top 5 NFL players from FCS schools. And because it was some big names out there, and we would have went down a whole rabbit hole. We narrowed this down. I say narrowed it down. It still made it, kind of difficult. The last 30 years, 1995 to present. I will say there are some guys that are playing right now that are still like second year, third year in the league that probably will be on this list in a couple of years. But here we go. And I'll let you go first. Top 5.
All right. So my honorable mentions are Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, cornerback from Tennessee State. Joe Flacco, quarterback from Delaware. I know it's hard putting the Super Bowl champ as an honorable mention, but
I got a Super Bowl champ as my honorable mention too. That's the funny part. So
But I just feel like I ain't really hear about him as much in college as I did some of these other people.
yeah.
My last honorable mention, it was close, but I gotta leave him out my top 5. Tariq Cohen.
Ooh, yeah.
He was a killer. He was a killer at A&T, but
He does
I
have a Pro
can't
Bowl,
put him
yeah.
above. Yeah, number
Hold
5.
on. Before you do your number 5, I'm gonna give my honorable mention too, and get those out of the way. So then I'll
Okay.
let you do. My honorable mentions. A lot of people forget about it. Tony Romo, East Illinois.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm when people hear this, they're gonna be like, "How? If he an honorable mention, you got a hell of a list." So my next one, and this the person I'm talking about. When you hear this, when you like, Cooper Kupp, Eastern Washington, honorable mention. And last but not least, from right down the road here, Robert Mathis from Alabama A&M, honorable mention.
Honorable mention, Robert Mathis. That's like future Hall of Famer Robert Mathis.
Yeah, but I got some Super Bowl champions and some Hall of Famers in my top 5. So, all right, go ahead, Ed, with your top 5.
That's fair. All right, so at number 5, one of the best linebackers in the game at one point, Shaq Leonard, Darius Shaq Leonard from South Carolina State. At number 4, I feel like he should be in the Hall of Fame, but because he never made a Pro Bowl, I don't think he will be. But he a Hall of Famer in my book. The Quiet Storm, Marcus Coastal.
Yeah.
At number 3, I think he a future Hall of Famer. Multiple time Pro Bowler, multiple time All Pro, one of the best left tackles in the game, Teron Armstead. At number 2, he played for a Super Bowl, one of the best Super Bowls we've ever seen. But when you talk about playing football at the FCS level, nobody was bigger than this guy. He put up he had Power 5 hype at an FCS school.
Mm-hmm.
The only Steve Aaron McNair.
Yeah.
And my number 1 FCS player in the last 30 years, arguably the greatest receiver of all time, top 3 for sure, Mr. Terrell Owens.
Yeah. You know, Steve, and we talk about this. Steve McNair, Alcorn State, he finished 3rd in the Heisman, bro. From Alcorn State. That is
they tried to get them in a bowl game, bro. Like,
yeah, in Independence. I'm looking at it. The year he won Heisman.
I thought it was the Liberty Bowl.
Oh, Liberty Bowl.
I thought it was the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah. What is Independence now? It's Shreveport, right? Shreveport.
No, the one in Memphis, the one I thought
was
the
it?
one that was trying to get
I
into.
can't remember. But yeah, it's funny. I'm looking at this. Names on this list for the high. So the year he finished 3rd, the winner was Rashawn Salam. Number 2,
Colorado.
Yep. Number 2 was Kajana Carter from Penn State. Steve McNair was 3rd. 4th place was Kerry Collins. 5th place was Jay Barker. 6th place was Warren Sapp. Yep. He finished above Lawrence Phillips from Nebraska, bro.
Yeah.
Danny said she missed the question for the list. This is top 5 NFL players from FCS, Danny. All right, so here go my list. So I know you was like, how you got Robert Mathis in your honorable mention? All right, so here you go. Number 5, he said Jerry Rice. So Gary didn't hear the stipulations.
Yeah, he didn't hear
1995
at all.
on Because if that was the case, we would have had Jerry Rice, we had Walter Payton. Shoot, you could,
That's why I said the last 30
yeah,
years.
last 30
But
years. We had to narrow it down because that list was long, bro. We would have had a top 20. So, and both of us would have had different names on them 20. So it's funny because we had to do that for this one. All right, so here we go. And number 5 from Idaho State should have been a Hall of Fame. I think he didn't get in this year. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I think he got he was a finalist, but he didn't get in. He is a finalist for this year, Jared Allen.
Okay. That's a toss up, but amen.
Number 4, I know this one. You're gonna be like, really? But I was a big fan because he played in that Super Bowl against Air McNair and won it. I was a huge fan of Rams. Number 4, I got London Fletcher from John Carroll. Don't listen. It's
London Fletcher over Robert Mathis.
It's my list, Judge. You had your list. This is my list. All right. At number 3, this man I'm gonna say this. This man got 2 quarterbacks into the Hall of. Well, he got one in the Hall of Fame, and he's about to he'll have another one from Alcorn State. Donald Driver. Number 2 on my list from South Dakota State. Y'all know who to go. Well, who everybody. I ain't gonna. Let me rephrase that. When you think about greatest quarterback, you talk about Tom Brady. Tom Brady wouldn't have half his rings if not for Adam Vinatieri. That's my number 2. And number 1.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you. We listen and we
bullshit.
don't judge.
Bullshit.
Number 1. And this is a technicality. From Marshall, Randy Moss.
Yeah, he was FCS.
He was FCS until they went FBS.
I'm sorry, bro. Your list was fine until you put London Fletcher over Robert.
Man,
Mathis,
I was a huge fan, bro. Huge fan.
London Fletcher was a great linebacker. He was. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. He was got some great stats.
Yeah.
But Robert Mathis is like a Hall of Famer, bro.
Yeah, I know. And Precious said Donald Driver. Yeah, he up there.
Yeah. I think like Puka Nacua can make this list at some point.
Where did Puka go?
But
I thought Puka went to like Oregon State or somewhere.
No, I thought he went to a small school. I thought
he went to
Washington. Be wrong. Oh, yeah, I was wrong. I thought he went to a small school.
But I will say, crap. It's the kid that's at Kansas City that came from not Elizabeth City. He came from Fayetteville State. Cornerback. He won Super Bowl. He actually won two with the Chiefs. Crap. What's the kid's name? I'm finna look it up. But I think he'll end up on this list eventually.
Yeah. This man said London Fletcher. Boy.
Josh Williams. That's what I'm thinking about. Josh Williams. I think Josh Williams will end up on this list eventually.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Javon Hargrave is another one. I think it end up on this list.
Yeah. Possibly Dallas Goddard, but I don't know. He ain't that great at the tight end. Old boy who played for Green Bay, that the receiver who got hurt. He came from North Dakota State. Christian Watson.
Yeah. Manuel Wilson may end up on there from
Nah.
You don't think of Manuel Wilson from Green Bay?
No, we're talking about like greatest players of all time, bro. Like arguably some of these guys Hall of Famers.
Strahan is he would have been if he could have if he would have been fit 95. I'm gonna tell y'all who missed the list by 1 year. Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner missed it because I literally was talking to Ant before the show. I said, "Damn, I want to put Kurt Warner on here." So, Kurt Warner missed the list. It's a lot of guys.
Shannon Sharp barely missed the list.
Shannon Sharp missed the list. Yeah. Shannon Sharp barely missed the list. 5 years. Came out in 90.
Yeah. So.
All right, Michael Strahan. When did Michael Strahan hit the league? Was it 92? No. I looked at that wrong. I read that really, really wrong.
Yeah, 93. He got drafted in 93.
93, yeah. So. Yeah, it's some good, man. It's a lot of some people I completely forgot about. That was on this list. Well, I ain't gonna say I forgot about. I forgot they came from small schools. Because we mentioned and a lot of people were like, I'm looking at it, a lot of people were teammates on NFL teams together. Like we talked about Tony Romo and Terrell Owens.
What if they never went to college? Are we gonna count them?
Oh, that might be a whole different list. Because the first thing I think about is the beer man.
That's a good one. I was thinking about that dude for the Eagles, that offensive lineman Jordan Mailata, or whatever his name is. Malata.
Talking about the one that was the rugby. He was playing rugby or whatever.
Yeah, rugby. Yeah. He never even played college ball.
It's funny because you said that. You said the Eagles. I was like, I know you ain't gonna say Vince Papaloni Invincible.
No.
That's I know. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Notre Dame fans, Rudy was offsides. I just want to say that to make him.
I heard a lot about that movie.
I'm talking about Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watched it. I wasn't impressed.
I ain't never seen it. Don't plan on it either.
You ain't missing nothing.
But they say the only reason that movie was made because he was cool with like a director from Hollywood or something like that. And yeah. But
I think I had an idea what we was gonna do for next week. Top. I think that one gonna be fun too. I throw it in the whatchamacallit for you. I put it in the whatchamacallit, the private chat. So, but yeah, man, that's all I got, man. I was gonna do the calls, but it's already it's 9:35. We got a long day tomorrow, so
we'll catch them next time.
Yeah, be back on Sunday. Should be here on Sunday. Hopefully, man. That snow and stuff. I'm trying to head down to Mobile, man. Hopefully, the snow and stuff will be melted away by the end, and the roads will be clear.
Should be.
Yeah, it temperature was still low, and it was supposed to warm up, but then it was gonna freeze again. It was still gonna be freezing temperature, so
yeah,
so everything's gonna be iced up. But we shall see. Marv, I'm looking at. He's talking about about the Reds.
I'm good on that, Danny. I'm good on that.
All right, y'all gonna keep messing around. NBA gonna be Austin Reeves versus Tyler Hero. It's gonna be a Dalton Connect versus what's the dude Duncan? Not Doug. Yeah.
Mac McClung.
Yeah, Mac McClung.
I feel Alex Caruso gonna be the only dude out there.
Hey. No, yeah, and it.
No, all the calls will start going to Josh Allen way this weekend.
That's why that's why Baltimore it was a clip. It was a clip. Somebody had a clip and said that Mark Andrews was like, for y'all in the conference. He said, ain't no way. Bloop. Oh man.
You seen the one with Snoop and Lamar Jackson jersey talking about you said they said I gotta go find a dude named Mark Andrews.
That's funny.
Old girl off the wire, when she had a Lamar Jackson jersey on at the game.
Oh,
whatever.
Snoop, yeah.
Snoop,
oh,
Snoop,
they
said had a picture said they sent me a name, said go look for a Mark Andrews.
That's funny.
What do people play too for?
Man, it's been hilarious. Oh man. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get up out of here. Once again, appreciate everybody. We'll be back on Sunday. Like that. We out. This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Bring me my money.
You can find the Golden Boot Podcast on YouTube at Golden Boot. On Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On Facebook at the Golden Boot Pod. On TikTok at Golden Boot. Or listen on all streaming platforms. Golden Boot!